Hey everybody, Russell Moore coming to you live. Hey, dedicated to financial literacy. It's good to see everybody. Well, I can't see you, but you can see me. All right, so I want to give a shout out to my church, Rejoice in Jesus Ministries. What up? What up? Love you guys. Hang in there. I'm going to try to keep this as brief as possible. Hopefully, I just want to share a few things about what's going on. Number one, I want to talk about earnings. Number two, a little bit about tariffs. Number three, de-dollarization, meaning the dollar. Countries wanting to get rid of the dollar, basically, get rid of our currency. And then four, what can we do? What would be a good thing to do? Okay, so let's start with number one. Let's start with earnings. Let's start with talking about the earnings. Earnings, for you that are new, remember my channel is for newbies, for new investors. If you're a novice and you've been in the market for a long time, this is not the channel for you. Unless you just want to hear, some things be reiterated, that some things that you already know. I talk about the stock market on this channel. I talk about budgeting, advice, hacks on what to do, advice. I usually will not tell you what to invest in. I may throw some things out that are favorable, but I always say, this is my quote, okay? This is my quote. If you don't learn, you don't earn. And if you don't read, you won't lead. Hear me, black community? Anyway, that one was for free. So anyway, I just wanted to, so the first thing I wanted to talk about is earnings, right? And if you're new, you might want to know, what is earnings? What is earnings? All of the companies that you invest in the stock market have earnings reports, earnings sessions, earning conference calls, and they have it usually right after the quarter ends. So our first quarter just ended. January, February, March is our first quarter. They already gave a report, earnings report, for December, for the fourth quarter of 2024. So we just finished the first quarter of 2025. It's April. Now they're going to report what happened financially. So all these companies are going to report what happened that first quarter, those 3 months, financially. So, and you as an investor can go to their website under relations, investor relations. They usually have a investor relations tab at the bottom of say Apple. You go to Apple, you click on Apple, you go down to the bottom, you'll see investors relations. Something where it'll point to you where you can click on that and you can actually sit in on the call. And usually the CEO is there. Tim Cook is the CEO for Apple. He'll be on the call. The CFO will usually be on the call. They'll have a couple other leaders and a bunch of analysts from different banks and investment banks. And they'll have a Q&A afterwards. I didn't mean to say all of this, but this is probably good for you to know. Okay, so they'll have a question and answer after the report. And they'll give the earnings, how much they made for the quarter. They'll talk about the revenue. They'll talk about new things that they're doing. It's a very good call to help you continue in investing. Many times after a call like that, I've invested and spent more money on a stock, or I've come out of them and sold because, say, the company wasn't doing well, and I had all this profit, and I know that after this call, that stock is going to plummet. I'm a long-term investor, so usually I just hold anyway. But I'm just saying that I'm just giving you an example. An earnings call can affect the stock, at least temporarily. Some a little bit longer than others, okay? So, but it's a good thing to get into practice of if you're an investor. That's for my newbie. Okay, so they're going to be earnings calls. It's starting this week. I got to look and see what companies Usually, I think they're going to start with the banks, all the banks. So the banks will give their their reports, their earnings reports, and other companies as well. Okay, so look out for that because that's going to affect the market. And then number two, I wanted to mention some things about tariffs. President Trump, I believe it was on Friday, mentioned that he kind of pulled back from and basically said we're going to exempt some areas of the tariffs. And I think this directly affects China mostly because he talked about pulling back on semiconductors, which are chips, computers, electronics, all of that is China. There are other countries that manufacture those things too for the United States, but mainly this was for China, right? And one of the reasons we believe, most people believe, like experts believe, is because Apple, Nvidia, they're heavy in China, right? So it affects them. The tariffs affects them. I think I want to say it was $600 billion in market cap that Apple lost when the tariffs first hit. Now, of course, that's temporary, but the market did bounce up a little bit. But we basically have been in a correction. And the NASDAQ and the Russell 2000 actually entered into bear market territory. So I'm not saying that we are out of this. We're out of the red. I still think, personally, I don't think the market I don't think we've reached the bottom, what they call the bottom. That's for the newbie. And when you hear the term bottom, meaning the stock market, the correction has reached the end of its decline. That's what they mean when they say the bottom. When it hits the bottom and it starts heading back forward, heading up, trending up. Okay? So whenever you hear that term, the bottom, they basically are saying the market has reached the end of the downtrend. And they think now we're going to start going up. Now, just because it reaches the bottom doesn't mean that it can't go up and go back down. Go back up and go back down. But you'll start getting higher highs. What I mean by that, and this is for the technical analysts, the market will go up, drop, and then go up. And then that next high will exceed the lower high. You guys get that? So it's almost like the market will do that, drop a little, and then it'll head back up. When it says higher high, that means this, and I should have wrote it. I should get my board out so you can really see this from a chart standpoint. Higher high, that means this high is higher than the previous high. Get it? So that's usually one of the things you can confirm. You can see that we're at the bottom. There are other indicators that tell you that we're at the bottom of the market. But for the most part, when you're at the bottom, you're going to start getting higher highs. You're going to start coming out of that. You'll start coming out of that correction. All right? So, President Trump made that comment, but then today, Sunday, he's on True Social on his platform saying, we're not letting anybody get off the hook. Please don't make no mistake about it. We're not letting anybody get off the hook. In other words, I think that was a little shot back at China to let them know that, we're going to pull back on some of these certain items that we're going to have tariffs on, but that doesn't mean that you're off the hook. We're still going to be the tariff's going to be. So what does that tell me? That means there's some uncertainty. And usually the market doesn't like uncertainty. I'm expecting the market, I don't know. We'll see what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm not going to say it's going to be green or red. I don't know. Let's see. All right. So that's the thing on tariffs. One of the things that I wanted to share about too is there seems to be a little bit of confusion out there. And look, you guys, I'm not an economist. I didn't work on Wall Street, hedge fund. A brother that have done research, and I read a lot. Hopefully I'm reading my Bible more than anything, but I actually like this. If I was not in my current profession, which is full-time ministry, this is something I probably would have gotten into. I love talking about investing and stock market, and I find it very interesting. We're in volatile times right now. The market. Some people are even predicting not just a crash, not just a bear market, but an actual crash, worse than 2008. And that's one of the things I want to end this video with. I want to talk to people on how you can hedge. So one of the things that happened is when the market crashed recently after the tariff announcement, when the market crashed, one of the things that happened that a lot of people are not talking about, everybody was looking at the stock market. The stock market, and that's important. That's where your stocks, but nobody was looking at the bond market. Normally when the stocks crash, like they did, when they pull back to that degree, we have a correction like that, the bond market usually is the hedge and will go up. Now the bond market yields went up for the 10-year and the U.S. Treasury bonds, 10-year and the 30-year. The yield went up. That's usually not the case. Usually, so you know what that says? That there's been a selling going on. Who holds most of the U.S. Treasury bonds? Other countries. That's a whole nother video. I'm not going to do that today. But they hold the treasuries. U.S. Treasury bonds. They've been selling them. The dollar also has declined. Both of those usually go up when the stock market goes down. This time it didn't do that. What is going on? Somebody's selling the U.S. Treasury bonds. Which brings me to the de-dollarization. Other countries are trying to get... It's sneakily happening behind the background, probably more in secret than in public. But I really believe this. And this is actually, it's not really a secret. But I really believe that many countries are coming together and meeting privately and secretly, devising a plan to get rid of the dollar. We know that the BRICS are already trying to do that. All you got to do is Google BRICS, B-R-I-C-S, not B-R-I-C-K-S. It's an acronym, B-R-I-C-S. It stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and other countries are joining. Why? Because sometimes we weaponize the dollar. Let's just be honest, America. We use it against other countries to hold them captive and get them to pressure them to do what we want them to do in certain ways. And we got to be honest about that. All right? What do you think Biden did when Russia invaded Ukraine? This is one of the reasons why the BRICS have been escalating and really... This is really why they've been trying to come up with their own with their own currency. Biden sanctioned Russia, the oligarchs, the rich, shutting down their yachts, not permitting them to be on their yachts, cutting off bank accounts, and other countries saw that and they said, wait a minute. If America will do that to Russia, they can do that to any of us. Cut off our livelihood? Man, when you start messing with the rich in the country, with the rich, so they've been on this plan. So I've been reading about BRICS Pay. They're really trying to come up with a digital currency to pull away from the dollar. Now, I don't think it's going to be able to happen in 2 years, 3 years, maybe not even 5 years. But if Jesus tarries in 10 years, The dollar may not have that value. The dollar may not have any value at all. Many people believe that the dollar is not going to have any value. So you'll be able to you'll go to the store and you won't be able to buy anything. It won't have any value. So the last thing I want to say real quickly, and I'm going to continue on with this. We're going to be talking about earnings this week, and I'll keep you abreast of what's going on. So what was the last thing what to do? We can talk about the problems all we want, but what to do? What can we do? Well, normally when the market goes down, one of the hedges to where you leverage when the market goes down is people really will buy gold. Now, I heard someone by the name of Peter Schiff. Peter Schiff, Schiff. Peter Schiff. I call him the doomsday economic prophet. But the thing about it, the man knows what he's talking about. And he's been right about, he predicted the 2008 housing bubble several years before it happened. When people thought he was crazy, he predicted the housing crash. Well, he's been predicting another crash. A bubble that's supposed to, our debt is because we have built up so much debt. He has predicted another bubble. Now, some people have been debating him about it, but every debate I've seen, he's won the debate, hands down to me. And he's schooling a lot of people that think they know so much. I'm talking about economists, all kind. He is. I'm sorry. What he is saying makes historical sense, economical sense. He's been right on. I don't know if the timing is right, but he's saying a lot of good. I wouldn't say good things because it's not good for America. So anyway. So I call him the doomsday economic prophet, but I pray that he's not right. But he's expecting a big crash. And the reason why is because we are consuming more than what we save. America is a consuming society, a consuming nation, not a saving nation. So in other words, we've been spending above our means. As I'm talking about as a nation, as a government, not just the citizens. That goes on too. But as a country, we've spent more. Look at all the waste that Elon Musk is finding with Doge. So anyway, let me say this, and we're gonna end. One of the ways, and one of the suggestions he made, and I agree with him, is gold and silver, commodities, gold and silver. This is a time. Actually, it was time 10 years ago to start building your gold reserve. But some people might say, well, I don't have enough money to buy gold bars. Gold can be expensive. Gold is at $3,000 right now. And many people believe by the end of the year it's going to be at $4,000. Gold usually goes up when the market goes down. I want to keep that in mind. So, and what I mean by that, because people are looking for a safe haven, especially now since there's de-dollarization. The word de-dollarization is coming. It keeps coming out. People keep saying the dollar is tanking in its value. The dollar is going to be gone. People are ditching the dollar. Countries are ditching the dollar. Because you're hearing that more people are buying gold. Here's the other thing. Central banks around the world have been hoarding and buying and purchasing gold, building up their stockpiles. China, plenty of gold. South Africa, Saudi Arabia, gold. India, gold. Everybody is buying gold. Why? Because something's coming, team. Now here's what you can do. Silver is still cheap. I purchase silver once a month. I get silver. If it's not bars, if it's coins, it's something. I always have been buying silver and gold as well. But here's the thing. What you can do, say you don't have a lot of money to buy gold. You can buy gold stocks. particular junior minor stocks. And in fact, Peter Schiff suggests that you do that now instead of buying the solid gold. The mine stocks, and I'll give you two. Newmont, ticker symbol NEM. I'm not telling you to invest in it. That's my disclaimer. I'm just giving it to you because some people are like, I don't know about gold stocks. Mining stocks, not miner, mining, where they're mining, they're digging for it, right? So, and then there's Barrick, BARRICK, Barrick. The ticker symbol is GOLD, or you can just there's an ETF, GLD and CLV for silver, or you can look if you got your brokerage home, your brokerage account, you can look on that site and just type in gold and it'll bring up some ETFs. So right now I would encourage people, if you can't buy solid gold, Barrick, I think last week was at $19 a share. Yeah, it's a stock, so $19. And the good thing about some of these ETFs, gold ETFs, silver ETFs, is it has all of these mining companies in them. Let me tell you why it's important where you can invest in gold mining stocks or junior mining stocks. Right now, oil is down. Oil is it's at its all-time low, I believe. Why is that important to the miners? They use oil. So because the oil is down, this is going to lower their costs to mine, which means they're going to be able to mine more gold. This is why many, like Peter Schiff, are saying, invest in gold shares, stocks, in gold stocks, in silver stocks. The miners, and here's the thing, because nobody's talking about gold stocks, they're at low. They're like at all-time lows. Like I said, Barrick is like 19. It might be around $20. Newmont, NEM, that stock was at like $55 a share. Get you a gold ETF, a junior that has junior mining companies in it. You guys get what I'm saying? Okay. Oh man, I'm at 22 minutes. Doggone it. Anyway, let me pray real quick. All right, look into gold. I'm just saying, look into gold and silver. Okay, just look into it. I'm not going to tell you to invest in it. All right, it's a hedge against the things that are coming upon us. Father, I just thank you, Lord, that you're preparing us for our future. I plead the blood of Jesus over every single person. And I just pray that you would bless. And I pray that there'll be more people giving information out so that people that don't have time, maybe they don't have time to research and do all of that. But those of us that really have a passion to see a breakthrough and see people financially blessed in these last days before you're coming, so that we can give more to the kingdom. I know that that's me and my wife's heart. We want to give more to the kingdom. And so I'm just asking you to continue to bless us, bless our families, bless our church, bless our pastor, bless the people that are watching this, bless them. And I pray that they would make great decisions, smart decisions on investing. And I also pray that they would get out of debt, that they would begin to put more money on paying off those credit cards and not acquiring more credit card debt. This is not the time to get more debt. It's time to pay off the debt. And so I speak that forth now, that debts are being paid off, that people are disciplining themselves, and we're becoming more of a country that's not so much consuming, but we're producers. And I speak forth innovation over America, over the companies that are operating NVIDIA and Microsoft, Apple, Amazon. We speak forth innovation that would bring us to a whole nother level in this earth. And I ask you to bless our country as we submit our lives to you. And so I give you praise and I thank you for this now in Jesus' name. Have a great day, everybody. Have a wonderful week. And I'll see you at the market tomorrow.